Alright, Shalom. First, I'd like to begin this lesson by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders who rule well at Great Millstone. Bless and salutation to you, brethren, pushing this word in sincerity and in all truth. Alright, this is Howard from the GMS Trinidad camp. Right, and the edification that I want to do today is based off of the hell doctrine. Right, the hell doctrine is something that many people misunderstand, or the Christian sect misunderstand. So I want to basically go something like an in-depth breakdown, if I may say, on the word hell and what the word hell really means and what it meant back then in the time of Yahushai. In the time of Yahushai, right? So what I want to do, I want to read something from a book. Right? This book is named Whose Word Is It? Right? Whose Word Is It? And it's the author is Badi Ehrman. Right, he's a scholar, a biblical scholar. He goes into basically the ancient texts on how the scriptures was changed. But I just want to read a passage out of the introduction here, something real quick, just to give you the audience understanding of how the scribes of the Bible, they used to change wrong, or they used to change intentionally certain things in the scriptures, so we go understand why hell means what it means today. Right? It says on page 4, the introduction, I'll read from here. It says, there was an obvious problem, however, with the claim that the Bible was verbally inspired, down to its very words, as we learn in Muddy. In one of the first courses in the curriculum, we didn't actually have the original writings of the New Testament. What we have are copies of these writings made years later, in most cases many years later. Moreover, none of these copies is completely accurate, since the scribes who proclaim them inadvertently and or intentionally change them in place. All scribes did this. So rather than accurately having the inspired word of the author, i.e., that is the original of the Bible, what we have are the error-ridden copies of the autographs. It says one of the most pressing of all tasks thereof was the asserting what the originals of the Bible said, given the circumstances that they were inspired and we didn't have them. Right? In layman terms, basically describes, this is an Edomite, right? So even as how we use the online etymology, they will go off. We will use the my sword or the Blue Letter Bible. It will give you accurate definitions or meanings, and they will give you inaccurate. Even so, this book, it will give you understanding of truth, and it also will give you understanding of false. It's up to it is you as the individual who have to decipher. So in layman terms, basically it tells you that the scribes of ancient times, they intentionally change things in the scriptures. You understand? Hell being one of them. Right? The understanding of the word hell, a lot of people, give me a second here, misunderstand what it means. Right? So as I type in the word hell here, I go into the different definition of the word hell. Right? So from Deuteronomy all the way down to I think is Matthew. Right. So we go. And this is in the book of Deuteronomy 32 and verse 22. It says, "For fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundation of the mountains." Now, let me look up the word hell, because what we know as the word hell, or the meaning of the word hell, it means, or not the meaning, or what, hell is a place where the wicked or the unjust goes to burn forever, or they will be forever in torment. Right? This is what we know as hell today. Right? But back then in Yahushai's time, hell was never meant that. It never meant that. Because when the English translators translated the word of the Bible, or certain words like, where we go into this word here, hell, shawa'al, or sha'ol, so some will say. Right? This is the definition of the word shawa'al, or sha'ol, or whatever they might pronounce it. It says the underworld, grave, hell. Right? Now I'm quoting something here, right? Shawa'al is only found in poetic texts, mainly in Psalms, Proverbs, and a few other texts. Right? Maybe Ecclesiastes, these books. It says the word shawa'al is used in the Bible as a parallel text for other words. It's a synonym for other words like grave, pit, and death, which means the same thing, because once you're in a grave, you're dead. Once you're in a pit, you're dead. Right? It's used like that in the poetic Hebrew Bible. In the Hebrew traditions, it means you get put in a grave or thrown into a pit. You understand? That's what the word shawa'al means, right? When you look up the word hell in the book of Deuteronomy, right? All the way down, it stopped to Matthew, because when you make a Google search of the word hell, it comes up like, let's see here, it might be more, right? Because this thing gave me an accurate readout, but more or less like 54 times, or probably more, right? Somewhere along that range, right? So from Genesis to Habakkuk, you will get the word shawa'al, which means, it goes back to a poetic understanding in the scriptures, more like a poetic sense. All right. Right, so it basically used as a synonym for follow-up words, or for other word, which is the grave, the pit, or death. This is what the word shawa'al means in the book of Deuteronomy 32:22. Right, so let me compare the scriptures here now. Right, let me compare the scriptures to what other translation or translators wrote it as. This is the BBE version. It says, "For my wrath is a flaming fire burning to the deep parts of the underworld, burning up the earth with an increase." Right? The underworld. BSV. Now, people will consider the underworld as hell, right? Not a lot of people will have the understanding that the underworld really is the grave or pit, right? It says BSV version here now. It says, "For fire has been kindled by my anger, and it's burnt to the depths of Sheol, or burnt to the depths of the grave, right? It says it consumed the earth and its produce and scourges the foundation of the mountain. The easy English version, it says, my anger will be so great that it will seem like a hot fire. You will meet with it everywhere that you go. You will meet with it in everything that you do, even on the day you die. Even on the day you die. As we say the word, it means what? Grave, pit, or death. The ISV version, it says, for fire break out in my anger, burnt to the deepest parts of the afterlife. What is the afterlife? The afterlife is what? When you're dead. Consuming the earth, right? I could stop right there. Right, this is the web version of WE. Yeah, it says for, this is the key one here. It says, for a fire is kindled in mine anger that burns to the lowest shower hole, right? Or Sheol, devours the earth with its increased, and set the foundation of the mountains on fire. Now when it puts on notes, this is what it says. It says shower hole is a place of the dead. Which part? Where do you place the dead? You place the dead in a grave. In a grave, there where you place the dead. Right? So as I read earlier, the scribes or the translators of the Bible, they translated, they intentionally translate these things to mean what it means. You see? So now we look up the meaning. It says shower all, underworld, grave, hell, or pit. The underworld, shower all, the Old Testament designation of the adobe of the death, a place of no return without praise of God, wicked send there for punishment. Right? These things are added in. This is righteous, not abandoned to it, of the place of exile. And this is what they teach. They teach that they're going to hell forever. Right? But when you go back, when you go back to looking into the meaning of the word hell and what it meant back then, you will get a total different understanding. Because when you have a shy walk the earth, this was never the meaning of hell. You understand? Right, so it says in its Strong's definition, it says Hades, which is the next word for hell, Hades, or the world of the dead, as a subterranean entreat, including its accessories and inmates, grave, hell, or pit. Right? Full stop. So we're moving on from here now. I'm going to jump because throughout, as you can see here, as I was reading before, Shawwal is only found in poetic texts of the scriptures. One of the poetic texts are Job. What Job say? Job 11:8, it says, it is as high as heaven, and canst thou do? Deeper than hell, what canst thou know? Deeper than the grave. Deeper than the grave that we seen. Okay? So Job, Psalms, Proverbs say what? Proverbs 7:27 says, her house is the way to hell, to the underworld. This was speaking about what? Let me see. This was speaking about what? You could use this term as for a woman. Because it says, let me see. Or I can start from. Or doctrine, because doctrine, what doctrine does, or different doctrine, it will cause it to go off. And by you going off, that can lead to death. Because it will lead to sin. And the wages of sin is death. So verse 24, it says, hearken unto me now, therefore children, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thy heart incline to her ways, go not astray in her path. For she had cast down many wonders, wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Shawa'al, Sheol, right? Which means the same thing, death. As it says here, death. The grave, pit. Right? I hope you're all understanding thus far. You know, so I'm moving on here now. Isaiah 5:14. Isaiah 5 and verse 14. I'll start from 13. It says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Verse 14. Therefore hell had enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomps, and he that rejoiceth shall descend. Let me look up that verse 14 here. Alright? The BBE talks about the underworld. The BSV said Shawa'al has enlarged in her throat, which is the grave. This talk about Shawa'al again, Shawa'al, hell. So death will open up its throat, N-E-T. Death, it speak about death. It wasn't speaking about a place where burning forever. And we will go into that. Right? Shawa'al is the place of the dead, which is the grave. Where do you place the dead? You place the dead in a grave. You place the dead in a grave. Right? So we're going to the next one now, to the New Testament. Right, we head into the New Testament, which is 4. Right, Matthew 5 and verse 22. It says, but I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother Rakah shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hell. Of hellfire. Right? Hellfire. So let me look into this here now. We compare this. The time that the BBE version speaks about you foolish ones will be in danger of hell, speaks about hell. You foolish will be subjected to hell, to fire of hell. Great Gehenna. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Lucifer said to you, fool, judge him. You should be into the fire of hell. Note. Because at the time when Yahushua said this, there were 71 important rules in Jerusalem, and they met together to judge a bad person. The most important priest was their leader. These men had great power. God is the most powerful judge. Only he can send a person to hell. When Yahushua used the word brother, he was also talking about thy close friend. Which we know. This wasn't speaking about somebody of other nation. Key point. Alright, that next video there. This is it goes on. All of them speaks of hell. Right. The WEB version, it says, but I tell you that everyone who is angry with his brother without a cause will be in danger of judgment. Whosoever say to his brother Raka will be in danger of the council. Whosoever say you fool will be in danger of the fire of Gehenna. Now, let me look up the word Gehenna in this passage and see what it really means. Or the word hell in Matthew 5 and 22 and see what it really means. Alright. Alright, so we're going into the word hell here in Matthew 5 and 22. Right, and means what? It goes back to the Greek word Gehenna. Right, the definition of the word Gehenna, it says hell is the place of future punishment called Gehenna. Right, or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned. A fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction, which is death. Alright? Which is death. And this same word here was mentioned in the book, the Valley of Hinnom. Let me get it. In the book of Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 31. 7:31. It says, and they have built an high place of Tophet, which is in the valley of the sons of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. Right, so this is what the Hinnom, Gehenna goes back to. It goes back to a place where in south of Jerusalem, where they did sacrifices, right, where they burnt the dead. It says originally the valley of Hinnom. Right? So we understanding so far what the word hell really originally meant. All right? Strong's, it says valley of the sons of Anan, Gehenna, or Gehenna, a valley of Jerusalem, used figuratively as a name of the place or state of everlasting punishment. Inaccurate. Right? Now, I want to get a scripture in the book of Mark. Mark 9. And 25. Mark 9 and verse 45, sorry. Mark 9 and 43. This is, and if thy hands offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into... Yes, no. It is better for thee to enter into life. Sorry. Come on. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Right? So let me look into this here now, and let me get the understanding of this chapter and this verse. The BBE version, it says, and if your hand is a cause of trouble to you, let it be cut off. It is better for you to go into life with one hand than to have two hands and go into hell into eternal fire. Right? It speaks about eternal fire, hell. Right? Now the word Gehenna is a Greek word. Right? This goes back to the Greeks. Right? Or Greek mythology. Right? This was the Greeks' belief, because Israel was under the Greco-Roman Empire. So we were indoctrinated by the Greeks' way of life, the Greeks' way of living, the Greeks' way of belief. That is why we are called also Gentiles. Right? The WEB says, if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life maimed rather than having your two hands to go into Gehenna. Right? There's hell there, right? So we're going into the word Gehenna once again. In this chapter and this verse, or not Gehenna, but the word hell. The word hell. And the word hell in this chapter and verse speaks about death. Right? It speaks about death. So because we have to understand, right? We have to understand, as I was saying earlier in the video, English translators, they translated the word Gehenna as hell. Right? So basically they did a injustice, because back in Yahushai time, he never talked about a place of eternal fire or eternal conscious torment. Right? He never spoke about eternal conscious torment. That all in the scriptures, right? So what they did, it was a injustice when the translators made that translation of hell, seeing that is a place of torment. Right? And as I read in the book earlier, if you go back to the video from the beginning, you will understand how these things came about. How the understanding that hell is a place of everlasting torment came about. Right? These things are not but the Greco-Romans belief, that hell is a place where you will burn forever. It's something that was actually made up. Right? Because the Greek mythology is a myth. A myth is something that is made up. There is something that you conjure up. Alright? So that is the meaning of the word Gehenna. Right? So I want to go into different definition, because there are a few words in the Bible. When I look up the word hell, there's a few words goes into the word. In the Old Testament, it speaks about Shawa'al or Shawol or Sheol, right? Come down to the New Testament, it speaks about Gehenna. But not also Gehenna it speaks about something else also, right? So there we find that. Let me search out the scriptures. And as the scripture tells in the book of I wouldn't call this a parable, but not all things will be revealed unto every man. Right? Let me get a scripture. Let me get a scripture in we saw the book of Acts. I think it's Acts 22. The book of Acts, let's know, 19 and Acts 17 and verse 10, it says, "And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, whose coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so, or whether those things were true." And that is exactly what a man of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai they will do. They will search out the scriptures to see if these things are really true. Right? And not only the scriptures alone, but they will go to the commentary. Not like Geno Jennings, who speaks about the Lord. He don't need to go to commentaries to understand the scriptures. Right? You have to understand that the scriptures talk about thou art wiser than Daniel. Right? These scriptures, these whites or these scholars, they search all the scriptures, but they don't have the full understanding. Right? So, in other words, we use their words against them. Right? We use their words because they are the ones who come out and saying also that, hey, hell is this and hell is that. But yet still is still saying that hell is a place where you're burning forever. But on the next hand, you're saying that hell originally was the place where they burn and make animal sacrifice. It goes back to Hades, it goes back to Gehenna, and it goes back to Sheol, and all this stuff. And that is why you need to search out the scriptures, search out the meaning. Right? So, right, we have our next definition here. This is the book of Matthew chapter 11 and verses 23. And it says,